Now at 9, Muncie Central football put on hold. We've got the latest details coming up.
And Ball State students will be meeting future employers at the job fair. We'll tell you when and where you can log on.
Tracking cooler temps and Hurricane Sally tonight on NewsLink Indiana.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Emily Harless.
And I'm Anna Chalker. Our top story tonight, Muncie Central football is canceled for the next 2 weeks.
NewsLink Indiana Sports Director Blake Dahlia is here with the developing story.
Well, thanks, Emily and Anna. Some tough news was announced today for the Bearcats after one of their players testing positive for COVID-19. The school released a statement today saying, quote, 2 students have tested positive. 1 student has not been in school since September 4th. After conducting contact tracing on this student, we have identified 9 other students as close contacts who have been sent home to quarantine. Only 1 of those students attended Central High School, 7 attended Blackford High School, and 1 attends Delta High School. As a result, Muncie Central football will be on a hiatus until September 24th. Blackford had a blended learning day yesterday and returned to school today, but it is unclear at this time if that was why. No word from Delta or Yorktown yet into NewsLink Indiana. Muncie Central also saying another student on the not on the football team has tested positive recently. You can read their full statement on ballstatedaily.com. Now, several states, including Illinois, one of our neighbors, have postponed high school sports entirely for the 2021 season, but Indiana has yet to announce any plans to do so. Emily and Anna?
All right, Blake, thank you. New on NewsLink tomorrow is the annual Ball State Fall Job Fair, but this year will look a little different. This fair will be happening online instead of in person. Over 100 employers are expected to log on. Executive Director for Career and Professional Development, Jim McAtee, encourages students to stay positive, even in these unusual circumstances.
And go into it with a positive attitude. I was listening to an employer comment on a response that a student gave to them when they asked a question about how has COVID been for you? And instead of going negative, the student said, well, certainly there have been challenges, but here's how I've spent my time, and here's what I've learned, and here's how I think I can apply that, to the workplace. So probably at this time, one of the things I want to stress to our students is be prepared in all the ways you would think about, but use COVID to your advantage.
Students can join the job fair on Cardinal Career Link tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m.
The latest tonight in the fight against coronavirus here at Ball State. No new cases were reported among students and employees according to the dashboard. The university says 2 more tests were administered on students and 1 more employee test. 1 new student case was self-reported, bringing the total to 959 total cases since August 17th. There have been about 864 recoveries and currently an estimated 95 active cases among students and employees. Indiana reported 758 new cases statewide today and 20 more deaths.
Indianapolis Public Schools has released a plan to start returning students to the classroom. Superintendent Alicia Johnson says pre-K through 3rd graders can return to in-person learning 5 days a week beginning October 5th. IPS will replace fall break with a week of remote learning during the week on October 12th. All grade levels will return to in-person classes beginning October 19th, with grades 7 through 12 operating under a hybrid model. The district began the school year remotely on August 17th. IPS officials say students have the option to continue learning remotely for the rest of the semester.
Fall is here, but so is COVID. NewsLink Indiana's Libby Klemeyer has the place where you can still have fun and be safe.
Fall is in the air, and with that, there are so many different fun fall activities to do here in Delaware County. I caught up with the owner of West Wind Farm and Fiber to see what they have at their farm and how they are working with the new normal.
Last year, we were open from 10 to 4 the entire time. This year, we are taking reservations only to groups, and we're doing family-only hay rides, and we are limiting the amount of visitors that are at our farm at one time. Families visit our farm, everyone gets a hay ride and a free pumpkin. They get to pick their own from our little patch, and it's included in the $8 admission. We have all kinds of games. We have a bounce house. We have a playground. We have a petting zoo. Kids and adults can walk or pet a sheep or a goat. They can hold a rabbit. They can pet a chicken, pet a duck.
With all these activities, there's still that one question. How are they keeping everyone safe?
We have 5 different hand sanitizing stations and wipes available for anybody that wants to use them. And just trying to make sure there's signs everywhere that say, keep social distance. And then we have 2 mask required areas where there's not as much open area.
You can find more information on their website, westwindfarmandfiber.com.
Also tonight, people along the Gulf Coast are preparing for the landfall of Hurricane Sally. This is a live look in New Orleans. You can see intense winds and some waves crashing up from the Gulf.
And the region is still recovering from Laura. Weather forecaster Morgan Taylor joins us tonight to break it all down. Good evening, Morgan.
Good evening, everyone. Right now in the tropics, there's definitely a lot going on, but the point of focus right now is definitely the Gulf. Taking a look at Hurricane Sally right now, a Category 1 is expected to make landfall this evening. The primary threats with this storm are flooding and significant rain amounts. Seeing these flood totals and rain possibilities here on the screen, you can see that portions of the Gulf could see between 5 to 6 inches of rain this evening as the hurricane continues to make landfall. But here in Muncie, conditions are definitely on the drier side. Radar showing pretty clear conditions, and I'll have more on the local weather in my full forecast.
Thank you, Morgan. While the weather is calm here, the West Coast is still experiencing severe weather conditions. NewsLink Indiana's Brianna Morton explains how some Ball State students from the West Coast are feeling about their home states.
The last couple of weeks, forest fires have grown across the West Coast and have been devastating for many people living in these areas. The effects from the forest fires are having a variety of effects from students on the West Coast.
I grew up on the West Coast in Southern California, right outside of Malibu. So the fires right now are really affecting my community. Every year, my household has been evacuated. This year, my hometown has not been touched by the fires because last year, all of Malibu burned and no fire burns twice.
The areas surrounding the forest fires are also feeling the effects of fire through smoke. Seattle is facing poor air quality, which can bring harmful effects to residents. The forest fires are also affecting us here in Indiana. According to the National Weather Service, the smoke is high in the atmosphere, making for hazy skies and more colorful sunsets for Hoosiers. Although smoke isn't at ground level and won't affect air quality as it moves across the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley regions.
I know my family and my friends are fine. They just can't really go outside. But it makes me nervous for what's to come, and the pictures from literally right outside my house back at home, the sky is orange.
In Muncie, NewsLink Indiana, Brianna.
An Indiana judge says he won't serve a new term if elected. Tippecanoe Superior Court Judge Randy Williams claims he cannot get his name off the ballot. According to regulations, Williams should have removed his name from the ballot by July 15th. The Journal and Courier says Governor Eric Holcomb would pick his replacement if he were to resign after his current term.
Focusing in on the 2020 election, what each candidate is doing to get a minority vote, next.
And an investigation is underway on a Netflix star. All the details coming up after the break.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. The Louisville mayor says a $12 million settlement has been reached with the family of Brianna Taylor. It's the largest settlement ever paid by the city in an officer-involved shooting case. The settlement also makes history because it includes one of the longest lists of required police reforms.
As significant as today is, it's only the beginning of getting full justice for Brianna. We must not lose focus on what the real job is. And with that being said, it's time to move forward with the criminal charges because she deserves that and much more. Her beautiful spirit and personality is working through all of us on the ground. So please continue to say her name.
No charges have been brought against any of the 3 officers involved in the deadly shooting. 2 are still on the force and another is appealing his termination.
In election 2020 coverage tonight, both presidential candidates are spending time this week focusing on getting the Latino vote. The efforts between now and Election Day could tip the balance in some critical battleground states. Daryl Forges breaks it down tonight in the White House.
For President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden in what could be a tight race in November, one critical voting bloc could make all the difference.
My Latinos, I love the Latinos.
Both candidates are zeroing in on Latino voters this week. President Trump held a roundtable in Arizona on Monday where he is aiming to make inroads in that critical battleground state.
I didn't have to be told about the Hispanic community. I dealt with them. Natural business people, great business people, great business people.
Biden, meanwhile, in Florida for his first campaign trip to the Sunshine State, holding 2 events, including one marking Hispanic Heritage Month.
Everybody knows who Trump is. People are going to show up and vote.
Hispanic voters were mostly in Hillary Clinton's camp in 2016. Whether Biden can match her success is up for debate. A brand new Monmouth University poll has Biden up 58 to 32% among Florida Hispanic voters. The challenge for Biden, making inroads with Cuban Americans in Florida, who tend to be more conservative. Last week, he sent his running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, to Florida, where she stomped at a Venezuelan restaurant. For Biden, this trip could be an opportunity to present his case for why Hispanic voters and Floridians as a whole should flip Florida from red to blue this coming November. At the White House, I'm Daryl Forges.
The FBI is investigating an Illinois cheer champion who was featured on a Netflix show. Jerry Harris is accused of trying to solicit sex with a minor. The FBI confirms it conducted a search in Naperville, where neighbors say Harris lives now. A spokesperson for Varsity Sports, one of Harris's former employers, says they'll continue to cooperate with authorities in their inquiries on this matter, but couldn't comment further. Harris is considered a fan favorite on the Netflix show Cheer. He denies any wrongdoing.
It signed diplomatic agreements with 2.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calls Tuesday a pivot of history, a new dawn of peace. He signed an agreement normalizing relations with the UAE and Bahrain at the White House earlier.
First, because this peace will eventually expand to include other Arab states, and ultimately it can end the Arab-Israeli conflict once and for all.
And back in the U.S., it's starting to feel a little bit colder outside and more like fall weather. Morgan, what can you tell us?
Temperatures currently in the 60s across Indiana, and I'll have more updates on the local weather after the break.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother,
Yes.
you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back. The time is now 9:16, and this is a live look at New Orleans. As you can see, still experiencing some severe weather. Morgan, what can you tell us about the current state in Muncie, though?
Good evening, everyone. Here in Indiana, specifically here in Muncie, temperatures sitting in the 60s. Now zooming in to the overnight hours, you can see temperatures are going to continue to drop drastically around 11 p.m., staying around 60 by 1 a.m., dropping to around 55 degrees, and then around 53 degrees by 3 a.m. But that's not as cool as it's going to get. Temperatures are going to drop to around 50 degrees this evening. Temperatures staying on the cooler side for a little while, and as we head into tomorrow, temperatures definitely going to warm up a little bit to the upper 70s, high for tomorrow around 79 degrees. Winds coming out of the southwest around 5 miles per hour, but overall, a sunny day is in store for tomorrow. Now, even though sunny conditions and warmer temps could be in the forecast for tomorrow, we're going to be timing a cold front here on Precision Cast right now. Conditions over Muncie and Indiana staying clear, but as we continue to track and move this clock forward, you can see some clouds starting to move over the area and some spotty showers off to the northwest, and that's where that cold front's going to begin to push through Wednesday, heading into Thursday. Thursday morning around 9 a.m. you can see that cloud coverage starting to thicken. A potential shower or clouds are going to roll through the area and then clearing out. Now looking at those temperatures, definitely staying on the warmer side for the next couple of hours and going into tomorrow. But then as we continue to track temperatures here on Precision Cast, you can see by Thursday evening those highs begin to drop as that cold front begins to move through the area. Looking into Friday, you can see highs only reaching 64. Now with those cooler highs, also some lower lows. By Saturday morning, lows around 45. And definitely as we continue to track those temperatures here on Precision Cast, things starting to warm up slightly, but not a whole lot. And then as we look at the next 8 to 14 days, definitely above average temperatures across the majority of the country, slightly above average in Indiana, and as well as for precipitation, definitely dry over the next 8 to 14 days. And then with that, looking at the mid-7-day forecast, you can see clearer conditions, those dry conditions I was talking about as well. Temperatures in the 70s and 60s for the next couple of days with lows in the 50s and 40s. Definitely looking at the potential for some sweater weather in the forecast.
And you know, Morgan, I am ready for it. I love fall, so beyond ready for that sweater weather. Thank you. All right, a golf club in Muncie that isn't your traditional setup. Find out how next in sports.
Also, the Ball State esports team is launching a new fundraising effort. We will have that and more. Stick with us.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener and loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems.
the ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. When I think of kids going to school hungry, hunger, homelessness, in this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Weeknights, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal weather. We've got the latest news headlines.
Freezing temperatures have set in all the way down in Louisiana.
One man dead after flooding in Venice, Italy.
Up to the minute weather conditions.
Cold temperatures are the story this morning.
And of course, lots of fun.
It is not funny.
What on earth is happening there?
I feel sorry for the little guy.
I've got my socks on. Annie with her curly hair, which is actually never curly. Join us Friday mornings at 8 on Facebook Live.
Welcome back. I'm Philip Shorzay with sports. The building of the new esports arena is officially underway. Ball State's College of Communication, Information, and Media has played a big role. The area that was once Robert Bell's testing lab will turn into a venue with a stadium area for esport competition, a live immersive learning lab space, a classroom space, and a lounge space for students to utilize. The Dean of CCIM, Paige Turner, is working to support all parties involved in the process. Once the arena is complete, and on and off campus students will be able to use the space for a minimal fee. While many sports are still shut down due to the pandemic, one has thrived. NewsLink Indiana's Nick Lawler has the story.
With many activities still unavailable, some citizens throughout Muncie have decided to turn to the Muncie Disc Golf Club.
Yeah, a lot of people just have way more time off work, more available to do things, and they're not able to do, normal stuff like going to the mall or, eating out. So people have just been coming outside and realize that disc golf is something that's outside, mostly free.
All this new interest in the sport has resulted in a huge uptick in the total members of the club.
So we initially ordered 50 tags and we sold out of that. I think we've probably had 65 or 70 club members this year, which is up from the last couple years.
Additionally, a different demographic has started to get involved in disc golf as well.
We've had a lot more young folks this year. We've had a lot more casual folks join the organized club and leagues this year.
One of the huge advantages that disc golf has at the moment is how easy it is to remain socially distant from others on the course.
Like I said, you can go play whenever you want to and play by yourself, or stay 10 feet away from somebody and go play.
Perhaps most importantly, it is absolutely safe in current conditions.
Really, any activity where they can get out and still interact with people while being safe. Thankfully, disc golf just kind of has that built into it to where we're normally at least 30 to 40 feet apart anyways.
There aren't many things you can do with your friends right now while remaining socially distant, but disc golf is a prominent one. In Muncie, Nick Lawler, NewsLink, Indiana.
If you want to join the club, visit the Muncie Area Disc Golf Club Facebook page. And finally, for Steelers fans, after missing most of last year following elbow surgery, Ben Roethlisberger has his 50th career 3-touchdown passing game last night. That impressive stat, it's a franchise record and the 8th most games with 3 or more scores in NFL history. Now, Emily, this is the first week of the NFL season. Did you manage to catch any of the games this past weekend?
I caught some clips of a few, and it was really exciting. I love football, so I'm glad for it to be back. What about you, Anna?
Okay, to be honest, I was extremely busy this weekend, so I didn't get to see any football, but I am very excited that we get to start out on that season. It's one of my favorite seasons throughout the whole year.
Yeah, and I know, like I said, I'm super excited for it, excited to see how the Colts are going to do this year. I don't believe they did as well as they hoped that they would this weekend, but we'll see how it goes. How are you feeling about sports? Who's your favorite team?
I'm a Bills fan. We did get the win this weekend, but we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes.
All right, well, thank you, Philip. Next, what vintage item is officially back in?
And Red Lobster is working on an unusual soda-based alcoholic drink for their locations. Stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Can you help me? I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. New sales figures show CDs are out of style, and the new craze is vinyls. Sales of records outpaced those of CDs in the first half of this year. That hasn't happened since the 80s. Record sales brought in about $230 million, which is almost double that of CDs, but streaming is still the new norm. Consumers dropped about $4.8 billion on streaming services in the first 6 months of 2020.
And speaking of new things, while other smartphone makers are trying to figure out how to fold their phones, LG has taken a new direction. LG unveiled the LG Wing Monday. The mobile phone is a unique take on a dual-screen smart device. It looks like any other phone on the market until you swivel the main touchscreen. That reveals a secondary smaller screen on the bottom. The phone also comes with 3 cameras on the back and a motorized pop-up selfie camera. It's expected to be released in South Korea next month and then in the US. No word on how much the LG Wing will cost.
Red Lobster wants to change the image of the popular soda Mountain Dew. Meet the Dugarita. Yep, it's exactly what it sounds like, a new margarita made with Mountain Dew. It's part of the restaurant chain's new partnership with PepsiCo. So what exactly is in a Dugarita? While Red Lobster hasn't revealed the exact recipe, it will contain at least Mountain Dew and tequila. Whatever is in it, Red Lobster says the new cocktail pairs beautifully with its Cheddar Bay biscuits. It's also just the beginning of what could come out of the new partnership. You know, margaritas are typically seen as a summertime drink, but it's starting to get to that pumpkin spice weather. Morgan, what can you tell us for the next 7 days?
Next 7 days are definitely looking cooler. However, our warmest day this week is expected to be tomorrow with the high of around 79 and then temperatures to cool off from there. So definitely pumpkin spice weather.
And you know, I am very, very excited for it. I've already been drinking it a little bit, so I'll be getting a lot more. But that is all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.